You know, they always say, he's so plain spoken. Plain spoken. I know more than any of these guys. Plain spoken. I went to Ivy League school, the whole thing. Plain spoken. They say it as I don't think it's a compliment, but they say plain spoken. Let me tell you something. I'm plain spoken because sometimes the words, I can come up with extremely nice words, except there's no better word to describe our leader and our administration than the word what? Stupid. Stupid. These are stupid people. These are stupid people. What's going on in Washington is purely stupid. Now give me a better word than that and I'll use it. But you know what? All the Ivy League that I have, the Wharton School of Finance, somehow they've never come up with a better word to describe what we're going through. So wouldn't it be nice if instead of education, we're number one in terms of cost per pupil by a factor worldwide, by a factor of many. Number two is so far behind, forget it. Like in the polls, number two is so far behind. We want to keep it that way. So we're number one in the world in terms of spending. We're number 28 in the world in terms of where do we stand. We have third world countries that are ahead of us. Third world countries. Countries that you wouldn't believe. Some countries that you've hardly heard of. And they're ahead of us in education. Wouldn't it be nice? So we spend the most and we're down on the bottom. Wouldn't it be nice if we spent not very much like our campaign? We don't spend that much, right? And we're at the top. Wouldn't that be nice if we can do that, or almost. And we're going to do a lot of things like that. We're going to start winning again. We don't win anymore. We don't win. When was the last time, seriously, and I say this all the time, when was the last time our country won? We don't win. We don't win. We don't win in trade. We don't win militarily. We don't win. You know, when I was growing up, we never lost a war, right? Now we never win a war. We never win a war. We leave Iraq where we shouldn't have been. And by the way, in 2003, 2004, I said, don't go into Iraq. You'll decimate it, and Iran will take over the Middle East. It's exactly what's happening. I should get credit for that. And I'm the most militaristic person there is. But we got to know what to do. We have people that don't have a clue. Then Obama gets out, and he announces the date that we're leaving. We are leaving in 18 months on a certain date. I say, wait a minute, let's be unpredictable. We have to be unpredictable first. We want to be a little bit unpredictable. So what happens is the enemy pulls back. We leave, and now look at the mess we're in, right? Look at the mess we're in. Look at the mess. So we shouldn't have been there, but once we were there, we shouldn't have gotten out that way, and we should have kept the damn oil. We should have kept it. Unbelievable. These people, they're incompetent people. We have incompetent leadership at the highest level. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. So I said, keep the oil. Now, how long? You've been with me for a long time. Have I been saying that for 4 years, for 3 years, for years, right? We just started after Paris. Paris was a disaster. Speaking of Paris, and speaking of California, where we lost 14 wonderful people to 2 radicalized maniacs, okay? We lost 14 wonderful, great people. People that held ceremonies for these 2 people that got married. We lost 14. Now, if sitting there in the room or standing, there were like you, right over there with a hat, you, I mean, I could pick out lots of people. If we had a couple of guns on the other side where the bullets are going in the opposite direction, it wouldn't have been that way. So we're going to save and protect and cherish our Second Amendment, okay? We're going to protect our Second Amendment. I mean, these people with the guns, they want to take the bullets, they want to take the guns, don't put any bullets in the magazines, we wanted this. The bad guys aren't listening, folks. The bad guys aren't listening. And we have to protect, because there is an assault on Christianity, and there's an assault on guns, there's an assault on everything that we stand for, and we're going to stop the assault, okay? We're going to stop it. So I always say, thumbs up for the Second Amendment, thumbs down for Common Core. We're going to bring education back to the states. and back to the people and the parents, and I see the way it works. I mean, we can't do any worse. We can't do any worse. So Common Core is out, and Second Amendment is in, and we're going to keep it. And we're going to keep it the way it is. It's so incredible. You see the kind of things that take place. I'll give you an example. It's not really the kind of negotiator I'm talking about for money, but it's the same thing. We have Sergeant Bergdahl, a dirty, rotten traitor, right? A dirty, rotten, no-good traitor. 5 people were killed. 5 people looking for Bergdahl, and probably 6. But 5 people at a minimum were killed looking for Sergeant Bergdahl, right? We make a deal knowing, because you had a general and a colonel there talking to the people that knew him. You had a general and a colonel that knew he was a dirty traitor. And what happens? We give them 5 people that they most wanted for 9 years that are now back in the battlefield. Don't believe the press. And if they're not now, they will be soon. So we give them 5 people, and we get this dirty, rotten traitor. No good, folks. We don't make deals like that anymore. We don't make deals like that. As far as I'm concerned, we take them, we fly them over to the area, a nice, heavily densed area loaded up with ISIS, and before we bomb the hell out of ISIS, we drop Bergdahl right in the middle of it. Amazing. 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 Amazing how stupid and how incompetent our leadership is in our politics, just to make a deal like that. And I mention that just because it doesn't make sense. I mean, the New Deal, look at the New Deal. We have 4 people, actually 5, but the 5th never showed up. They don't know where he is. They have no idea. But we have 4 people. We get back 4. They get 7. Plus, they get 14 people that are on Interpol watch list. You know what that means. That's serious stuff. These are bad dudes. And they're getting taken off all the watch lists, right? They're getting $150 billion. They're going to make, they don't have to make nukes anymore. They can buy them. With the money we gave, they can buy them. And all you had to do is, when the negotiations started, what do? We walk into the room. We say, we can't give you any money. We're bust. We have no money. The country owes $19 trillion. Do you believe that? 19 trillion. $19 trillion, going to be 21 trillion. We don't have the money. We can't do it. They're going to say, no way, no way, no way. And we're going to walk out of the room. Nobody, not once did they walk. We didn't win 1 point. We never walked out of the room. You know, in the art of the deal, I say, walk every once in a while. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. Obama would have looked great. Kerry would have looked great if he walked. I don't know why. They were afraid to walk. It was a one-sided transaction. We were totally out-negotiated. The Persians are great negotiators, always have been, throughout history. They made us look like a bunch of dummies. We should have walked, double up the sanctions. Within 48 hours, they will call you and they'll say, here are your prisoners, darling, take them. 100%. 100%. Then after you have your prisoners, you go back in. We call it for seconds, right? We go back in. Only one man laughed at that, only one. We go back in for seconds. And we say, very nicely, sorry, we can't give you the money. So we got our prisoners back. Now we tell them we can't. They're going to go nuts. And we'll probably have to walk. Believe me, you'll double up. You'll never have to pay the money. The money shouldn't. And the biggest problem with me winning is that I'll never get that $150 billion back. I hate that. $150 billion we're giving these people, and it's a terrorist nation. Think of Iran. Think of this. They're taking over Iraq, which is even better than the 150. You know, Iraq, second largest oil reserves in the world, right? The second largest in the world. So I used to think the $150 billion was good. And until 2 weeks ago, I started thinking, I said, wait a minute, that was a great deal. 24 days inspection. They can self-inspect. How do you like that one? They can self-inspect certain areas. In other words, certain areas that they really don't want us around, they have the right to self-inspect. So we call them, we say, oh, excuse me, but I hear you're building nuclear in a certain area. Oh, well, we'll check. They call back the next day, oh, everything's fine. I mean, you can't believe it, right? You can't believe it. So with all of this, okay, with all of this, I said, this is one of the great deals ever made. We didn't even get our prisoners back until, and believe me, without the $150 billion, you would have never gotten them back. They would have been there forever. They have no respect for us. They have no fear of us. But they have no respect for us whatsoever. But 2 weeks ago, I was thinking, I said to myself, you know, that's a great deal, but they made actually a better deal. Because we decapitated a country that has the second largest oil reserves in the world. And they are now walking into Iraq. They're walking in, just walking in, and they're taking over, just like you're standing there. Sorry about the seats, but we had too many people. Just like you're standing there, they're walking into Iraq. So they're taking over Iraq. They're going to take over Syria. They're taking over Yemen, but they don't really want Yemen. But Yemen has the borderline between where? Saudi Arabia. So they're going to take over Saudi Arabia. They want Saudi Arabia. That's what they really want. They want the oil. But their platform is Yemen. They don't want Yemen, but their platform is Yemen. Because take a look at the border. It's massive. It's long and open. And they're going to walk into Saudi Arabia. We have got people that don't know what's happening. We have leadership that doesn't understand the way the game is played. And when you talk about the names, we have a president that doesn't want to say radical Islamic terrorism. He doesn't want to say it. He doesn't want to say it. I mean, this weekend you had a hotel set on fire with many, many people killed. We don't even know how many people killed. And every day and every week something's happening. And I have friends who are great people. They're Muslims and they call me. Not all of them, but some of them. And they say, Donald, thank you. You've opened up a dialogue. There's hatred out there. There's unbelievable hatred. What you've done is a tremendous service. You've opened up a dialogue. We can't have this with our country. We have tremendous problems in our country between crime. We have our open borders. We have people pouring through like it's nothing. We have our anchor babies, which, by the way, I was right about. You don't need a new constitutional amendment. You don't need it. If a woman comes over and she's pregnant and she is on our land and she has the baby, we do not, and you've been brainwashed to think about this, we do not have to take care of that baby for the next 90 years. We don't have to do it. And the greatest legal scholars have said that. So, I mean, so many things have come out, so many things. And what's happened is the polls start coming, and then they do polls on who's best on ISIS, who's best on the military, who's best. And because I'm so strong on the border, as an example, our southern border, it's a mess. What's coming through is unbelievable. We have tremendous crime. We have tremendous drugs. We're losing our economy. Nobody does anything. I know the Border Patrol. I went to Laredo, Texas. These people are incredible. They're told, stand back, don't touch, these are these people that they called me, would you go? They want me to go there. I went there. I met with the Border Patrol. They're incredible people. They want to do their job. They can't do their job. They're told to stand back. Don't do the job. People are pouring across. You've seen the pictures with the trains where people are, they're pouring across the border. We're going to have a very, very strong and powerful border. We're going to bring back our country. We're going to build a wall. We're going to build a wall. And Mexico's going to pay for the wall. And the reason they're going to, and again, when these guys say, well, Mexico won't pay for the wall, they have no idea. They're not business people, they're politicians. Let me tell you,